When asked the question, what flavor would be considered the most nostalgic to the most people, the consensus would have to be 2007 Citrus Cherry Game Fuel. The original Game Fuel is one of those flavors that just hit at the right time at the right place. Its memorable design, concept, and flavor just paired so well with the game it was promoting. 2007 smash hit Halo 3. What made Game Fuel so interesting is its unique co-branding premise. There weren't even any cap codes or in-game item rewards, just a good drink promoting a good game. This was said to actually be the first time a new drink was created specifically for and branded alongside a video game. To drum up hype for the incoming September release of Halo 3, Game Fuel released in August, lasting for only a limited time into November. The flavor, which is specifically defined as dew with an invigorating blast of citrus cherry, on paper sounds similar to Code Red, but differs significantly in taste. Because of the gamer target audience, Game Fuel was advertised as containing more caffeine, 30% more to be specific. For the launch of the drink, Mountain Dew went all out. There were hats, shirts, action figures, coolers, ice sculpture samples, wrapped vehicles complete with giant inflatable cans, a Slurpee release with collector's cups. They even made a 16-ounce aluminum bottle in the style of the Green Label Art series. This particular release was notable for being the only bottle in that style to feature a liquid other than original. When it comes to the 7-Eleven release, many think 6 lenticular cups were made for the flavor, but only 3 belong to Citrus Cherry, with the other 3 dating back to 2004 for the release of Halo 2, which was released alongside an OG Slurpee. Few know that there was actually a 4th cup, a 22-ounce paper skinny variant. Believe it or not, the 2007 release of Game Fuel wasn't the first time that name was used. It was actually seen 2 years prior. For the years 2005 and 6, Mountain Dew wanted to make their presence known as E3's official drink sponsor, so they parked a large fuel tanker outside the venue, labeled with graphics insinuating that what was in the tank was literally fuel for gamers. No actual drink appears to be labeled Game Fuel, just the truck itself. The love for 2007 Citrus Cherry is not only due to the connected game, great flavor, and timeless related memes, but also for its standout brown design paired with its red-orangey iconic color. Game Fuel Citrus Cherry would go on to have a very extensive life beyond purely promoting Halo, but that doesn't mean the two never collabed again. In 2012, 5 years after the original release, Game Fuel and Halo reunited for the release of the series' 4th entry, Halo 4. Like its predecessor, it's responsible for many important cultural moments, and it had its own Slurpee cup, only in Canada this time. In-game rewards were advertised this time around as part of the Dew XP promotion. Game Fuel Citrus Cherry is just one of those flavors that the mere mention of it could elicit tears from any gamer. It not only had a memorably great flavor, but its success spawned a whole new subcategory of Mountain Dew flavors, one that still receives new entries to this day. After the success of 2007's limited time Halo 3 Game Fuel, it only made sense to bring back the beloved citrus cherry flavor, but alongside what 2009 video game? Well, actually, instead, how about a game from 2004? That being World of Warcraft, the online MMORPG that in 2009 was still massively popular. This time, instead of just citrus cherry, 2 flavors under the Game Fuel name would release to promote the game, with the other being the brand new Wild Fruit. To tie in with the idea that each of these was meant to represent different World of Warcraft factions, they were given the nicknames Horde Red and Alliance Blue. This was then paired with the tagline, "Choose Your Side." Again, this was a limited release, only ever being available for 10 weeks in the summer this time. During the short run, fans anxiously took advantage of Citrus Cherry's return, as well as grew to love the new Wild Fruit flavor, together forming quite the nostalgic connection all these years later. When it comes to the actual flavor of Alliance Blue, all you have to go off of is the description, a punch of wild fruit, so take with that what you will. In terms of the chronological timeline, these releases right here are the first time any Mountain Dew flavor variants received the abbreviated MTN branding. Many know of Mountain Dew's longtime use of the abbreviation, but little know that this was the start. Though not explicitly through the physical soda releases themselves, in-game rewards were tied with the promotion. By visiting the website MountainDewGameFuel.com, Little Dew-themed robotic pets could be unlocked, named BattleBots. Through continual visits to the site, you would fuel your pet using either a red or blue liquid, obviously meant to represent the IRL soda. Other prizes were given out in connection with the website, like these WoW messenger bags fashioned with awesome-looking Game Fuel-inspired artwork. Similar to the previous release in the series, World of Warcraft's Game Fuel Duo is remembered quite fondly and will go down for setting many firsts for Mountain Dew as a whole. Initially only viewable through this single promotional advertisement was what looked to be a Filipino Game Fuel release. Prior to the discovery of this image, Game Fuel was never thought to have existed in the country. All that was clear from the image was a connection to the MMORPG Rising Force Online, another title from Level Up mind you, a promo window of May 26th to June 29th, 2010, another 7-Eleven connection as well, and a Bottle and Slurpee release of what looked to be likely Citrus Cherry Game Fuel. Using the info provided, a few big discoveries were made, starting with these Slurpee cards, of which are almost identical to the previous. These make it clear that this was in fact a Game Fuel related release. By image searching the original advertisement, an article from May 2010 can be found discussing all the promo details alongside another new image, this time one of the bottle itself in high resolution. Given the popularity of the Game Fuel series and its many well-known entries, it is beyond bonkers to find out that in 2010, this RF Online promotion existed and is only now being discovered. After that bombshell discovery, it was then time to find a visual of its Slurpee counterpart. Initially only part of the cup could be seen via the magic of Flickr, but after utilizing Facebook's advanced search, this image emerged, a full-body picture of the immensely rare Rising Force Game Fuel Freeze. By using the little-known YouTube advanced search feature for the exact time frame of the promotion, this potato-quality video was found featuring an RF Online refrigerator window sticker underneath a huge Game Fuel branded poster. That includes the text 7-Eleven exclusive. Not only that, we get a super brief look at what the Slurpee fountain itself looked like, in a whopping 240p. Similar to how the Grand Chase Slurpees were handed out at the 2009 event Level Up Live, sources online claimed another Slurpee giveaway was planned for 2010 involving that same Slurpee girl, Gwen. Pictures and videos from the event only ever show generic blue and green cups, including in the hands of Gwen, leading to the conclusion the RF Game Fuel wasn't available. But after getting a visual of the beverage itself alongside this insane Facebook find, it's then confirmed that after its extremely short 1-month release, the RF Online Game Fuel was once again made available at this event. It's still unknown what the exact flavor was. Regardless, it'll forever be known as one of Mountain Dew's most perplexing foreign flavors. Bringing it back to 2011 in the States, another Game Fuel promotion was starting back up, this time in collaboration with the video game Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Like they did with World of Warcraft, Citrus Cherry was joined by a brand new flavor, this time a dark green option defined as a charge of tropical. Prior to its October release, Tropical was actually handed out to fans early through a Dew Labs membership. The drink was sent in unmarked test cans, like previous examples, this time labeled as 614. At the time, fans had no idea this was Game Fuel in the making. They were only told of this being a mystery flavor that only 500 people got to try early, in exchange for some public posting about it. When officially revealed 3 months later as Game Fuel Tropical, fans were surprised to not see Wild Fruit's return, instead a flavor most found hard to define. This MW3 duo marked the first time double XP 12 packs and cap codes were advertised as the main selling point for Game Fuel, as prior entries focused mainly on just promoting the game. Between the 614 sneak peek and official in-store release, Tropical was available early at the Call of Duty XP event in Los Angeles. In addition to trying the flavor early, each attendee was given this green and silver collector's can that also allowed for double XP, this time through snapping a picture and sending an email. The liquid inside was original, not tropical, despite the can color similarity. Some fans were able to get their hands on the even more elusive gold variant, said to be given out in a way fewer quantity. How exactly this can was won is a mystery, but we know it at least involved the Do Bunker booth and a possible social media post requirement. These two cans, especially the gold variant, are some of the rarer collectibles to come by, but neither hold a candle to the third planned variant for Modern Warfare 3, that being the cancelled Wildberry. Yes, at one point there were plans to release a spiritual successor to Alliance Blue under the new flavor description of Hit of Wildberry, under the Modern Warfare 3 branding. This obscure variant is only known thanks to these proof cans posted to Facebook Marketplace in 2024. It's unclear if Wildberry was the original planned sidekick to Citrus Cherry, or if it was going to serve as a third flavor. Regardless, to say this was a bombshell discovery would be putting it lightly. With these being proof cans, they aren't full and ready to drink, they instead serve as purely manufacturing examples. The original post claims one of a kind, which might be true, but is likely just tacked on to make a quick $200. It's no secret that in 2012, Halo 4 received a standalone Citrus Cherry Game Fuel release, but few know that at the same time another flavor was advertising Halo, instead in 500ml opaque orange bottles labeled Raspberry Citrus. This obscure release was only ever available in the UK for a limited time, originally in 2012 to promote Halo 4, then once again in 2013 to promote winning an Xbox One. It's often said to have also released in Ireland, but they look to have only received a basic OG green release. In addition to this being called Game Fuel, the Raspberry Citrus bottle was also labeled Energy, which was the UK's way of distinguishing their high caffeine formula. Like with nearly all Game Fuel promotions, giveaways were involved, this time involving free games, free Xbox avatar costumes, and even a chance to visit the game developer's headquarters in Seattle. The press events held for this flavor looked to have been pretty intense, with one involving a giant bottle souped up with jumper cables. The 2013 promo giveaway, which is self-explanatory, again involved redeemable codes found exclusively on bottles, this time in multiple sizes, at least in render form. Keeping up with the yearly tradition, Game Fuel returned to shelves, this time as a dual release consisting of the classic Citrus Cherry alongside the brand new Electrifying Berry. On the early test bottles, we can see that by berry they meant Goji Strawberry. This time around, there wasn't just one game being promoted, instead Citrus Cherry showcased Dead Rising 3 and Electrifying Berry showcased Rise Son of Rome. In addition to those, the 12-pack cases also promoted Forza 5 and Connect Sports Rivals. Those two games were also only strangely seen on the Sidekick bottle releases. This unique quad game collaboration was also paired with another Xbox-themed giveaway promotion. It involved banking a bunch of points via redeemable codes on specially marked packages, which then could be used in an auction-style website with the hopes of winning one of many Xbox Ones given out every 2 minutes. This whole idea, which is nearly identical in concept to prior promotions, was executed first in person at the 2013 PAX Prime convention. At the same time of this release, a Citrus Cherry Game Fuel Slurpee was once again made available at 7-Eleven, though with no specific game branding. Xbox giveaways were also connected with the Slurpee through coded cups, but not through the every 2 minutes promotion, and sadly not with Mountain Dew branded cups. Another release from 2014 worth quickly mentioning is the standalone Citrus Cherry Game Fuel. Standalone as in no specific video game was connected. The reason behind the promotionless appearance is because Game Fuel Citrus Cherry was just too popular for an occasional limited time run. Its cult status demanded permanent positioning. This naked variation of Game Fuel Citrus Cherry would become Arby's first and only exclusive Fountain Mountain Dew. Its short single-year run came as a result of Arby's ending its relationship with Pepsi and switching exclusively to Coke products. In 2018, Game Fuel Citrus Cherry would further strip down to just Citrus Cherry in order to not confuse customers with other similarly named incoming flavors. During and after its nude 9-year total run, Citrus Cherry would continue to promote specific games, like for example 2014's Advanced Warfare Partnership. Similar to the previous COD collab, the Game Fuel series would receive Citrus Cherry once again alongside a new flavor, this time a basic lemonade. Besides providing a top 10 of all-time flavor, the promotion also brought with it double XP codes, free Xbox Ones, and themed in-game items, including a good old Mountain Dew exosuit. Given the gargantuan popularity of Call of Duty, several other countries ran Advanced Warfare Mountain Dew tie-in promotions, but no one other than the US received the highly coveted GOAT tier Game Fuel Lemonade. Like clockwork, a Mountain Dew under the Game Fuel name saw release in the fall, again paired with Call of Duty, specifically their 12th series entry Black Ops 3. The options included citrus cherry once again alongside berry lime, a self-defining flavor with a dark teal color. The tie-in promotion this time around involved PlayStation giveaways, double XP for zombies, and another tie-in Slurpee, one that lasted way beyond the Black Ops 3 partnership. When it originally debuted at 7-Eleven, it too advertised the same COD code concept, made possible via peel-away Slurpee Cup stickers. The Black Ops 3 branded cup shown in the advertising was thought to be only a render, but with enough research, physical real-life examples can be found. Few know or even care that Berry Lime received a Slurpee variation, but those who do consider this a holy grail collector's piece. As we've previously seen, the Game Fuel name is home to all sorts of unique and interesting releases, like for example 2016's Game Fuel from India, referred to only as simply Game Fuel. When looking over both the bottle and can packaging, nowhere will you find any flavor description. The liquid color is very clearly bright green, but for its actual taste, it's been lost to time. Some speculate it's purely original with added caffeine, while others, who sampled a 7-year-old expired bottle, claim there's a strong lime link. Related articles use terminology like bold and new, plus there's commercials that clearly separate the two, so it's safe to say they're different flavors. Early imagery related to Game Fuel shows a black bottle, which further complicates things. Regardless of the flavor, Game Fuel was not only the first ever Indian exclusive, but also the first flavor variant available in the country since its OG introduction in 2003. Its launch coincided with the Dew Arena Gaming Championship, which was advertised as India's biggest ever gaming competition, lasting 9 weeks and involving 30,000 people. The entire rollout of Game Fuel centered around the idea of Hero Mode On, which tied into the country's at the time push to make gaming in India a bigger phenomenon. As to be expected, prize pools were advertised and Xboxes were given away, courtesy of the Microsoft co-sponsorship, but there was also the mention of the top gamers winning the chance to have their likeness used on a future bottle of Game Fuel. When they finally fulfilled that promise a year later, their faces were instead confusingly used on bottles of OG, which maybe could still be considered Game Fuel. This is likely because the actual Game Fuel was only ever available for that 9-week run in 2016. Outside of the Dew Arena availability, Game Fuel was also made available to the public, who could then participate via codes behind the bottle labels. The drink was also the central focus of a 50-city truck tour involving a transforming gaming station branded with the drink's logo. In 2017, a year after the release, another Dew Arena was held, followed up by several others, none of which ever included Game Fuel. The same custom bottle and transforming truck idea returned, except this time with the mention of 2016's mysterious Indian Game Fuel removed. That same year, over in Sweden, another strange Game Fuel adjacent flavor presented itself to fans, under the name Game Blast. This highly obscure version of Game Fuel, defined as a rush of cherry, looks to have started in the Netherlands and Denmark in 2015, under their traditional Game Fuel name. Then in 2016 made its way to Sweden under the alternate name Game Blast. The reason behind the name switch, and whether it's different from Code Red flavor-wise, is unknown. Like the initial Dutch and Danish versions, Game Blast was seen under a few different looks throughout its life, but only ever as a bottle. It never received the can treatment like Denmark. Game Blast was also spotted in Finland, though that is likely due to a Swedish import situation. Concrete info regarding Game Blast is hard to come by. People claim it lasted until 2020, but that isn't 100% confirmed. What is known for sure is that Game Blast, alongside Nordic Nova, featured a traditional style Game Fuel promotion for 2016's first-person shooter Titanfall 2. Similar to the US with their release of Mango Heat, the 6th mainline entry in the long-running Game Fuel series, which once again debuted alongside the classic Citrus Cherry. Many like to state as fact that Mango Heat is simply the officially released version of the 2014 Volt flavor Habanero Mango, but like with the Diet Crave Flavor 722 debate, it's all just speculation. When looking into the advertising produced for the flavor, it becomes apparent the budget was not the same as previous years. Given how big Mountain Dew is as a brand and how momentous their Game Fuel releases are, the lack of effort here is surprising. At least the in-game rewards were decent, a unique Mountain Dew branded war paint, and limited access to an exclusive one-on-one Coliseum multiplayer mode. The slogans this time around included Fuel Your Titan and hashtag Drink Eat Dominate, which upon further investigation reveals the existence of an even cooler Buffalo Wild Wings war paint alongside a Mountain Dew to-go only collector's cup that even if you dive deep, you will not find photo evidence of. Out of nowhere in 2017, Mountain Dew Canada decided to drop their own version of the spicy soda under the same exact name but without the Titanfall branding and Game Fuel name. This version of Mango Heat was only ever available in their traditional 473ml can they call King Cans, as well as in Slurpee form, which they claim burns oh so sweetly. Both were exclusive to 7-Eleven only for a limited time. Thankfully, images of both can backs can be found, which when compared prove identical ingredients. As to be expected, Game Fuel returned in 2017, except this time without Citrus Cherry. Instead, two brand new flavors were paired up for the release, Tropical Smash and Arctic Burst. Now, many have speculated Arctic Burst to actually be a re-release of the 7-Eleven Slurpee released 11 years prior, but let's be real, the names only match because they forgot about the obscure Superman Returns tie-in and thought Arctic Burst sounded cool. The games advertised this time around included Forza Motorsport 7 for Tropical Smash and Middle-earth Shadow of War for Arctic Burst. The reason behind Citrus Cherry's absence is because at the time, that promotionless version was widely available, thus making room for two new Game Fuels this year instead of their traditional one. Promotion-wise, nothing new, simply another point-based Xbox giveaway. The actual flavor profiles of the two aren't the most clear, each of which uses their name followed by flavored dew, so take with that what you will. Finally picking back up where we left off with AMP is 2019's 4-flavor batch of Cherry Burst, Berry Blast, Tropical Strike, and Original, all of which exist under the brand new AMP Game Fuel Charged spin-off series. This intriguing new line from Mountain Dew aimed at not only cashing in on the Game Fuel name, but also AMP Energies, which was strange given the brand's lack of relevance in 2019. In hopes of winning over the gamer demographic once again, the AMP Game Fuel Charge series introduced a new resealable lid alongside a new tactile grip texture. Of course, boosted caffeine levels were advertised as well, because according to them, it increases accuracy and alertness. Flavor-wise, each basically speaks for itself, with Original again meaning what you think it does. Because of the new tech on display and monumental mashup of pre-existing IPs, the AMP Game Fuel Charge series was pushed hard by Mountain Dew. Advertisements featuring the 4 flavors were seemingly everywhere. Not only is this series interesting for essentially being a paradoxical double spin-off, it's notable for replacing the yearly Game Fuel double release tradition. This series is also why the promotionalist Citrus Cherry dropped its Game Fuel wording in 2018, and why the 2019 Mountain Dew amps look the way they do. Several games were still advertised on the 16-ounce cans, but not in the same fun, new flavor way the original Game Fuels did. Most tie-ins were Call of Duty related, with the coolest of all being this elusive optic gaming partnership featuring the team's 6 players. AMP Game Fuel Charged was without a doubt a success, enough to where it received several future entries, not including these Adrenaline Game Fuels that just happen to use the same name and font. Like the previously seen examples, Adrenaline occasionally used the Game Fuel name, but only in Russia and some other neighboring countries. These are damn close to counting as a Dew spinoff though, as they feature the same game promo and artwork. Contrary to what many believe, the 5th entry in the AMP Game Fuel Charge lineup, Orange Storm, did not debut alongside the original 4. It instead released 8 months later, by itself, promoting the 2019 video game Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Initially, Pepsi claimed Orange Storm would be limited time, but that never ended up being the case as it joined right alongside the others as a permanent, eventually with a promotionless appearance. At some point in 2020, Orange Storm alongside the others quietly dropped the AMP wording from their titles, likely because the AMP name no longer held much weight. In addition to the name change, in 2021 the entire 5-flavor lineup was then pulled from shelves and switched to online only, signifying a potential series finale on the horizon. In the meantime, 2 flavors that did physically hit shelves in January included AMP Game Fuel Charge Zero, Watermelon Shock, and Raspberry Lemonade. Going off the new name and alternate white design, these 2 additions to the AMP Game Fuel Charge subseries were intended to give fans the option to go sugar-free. Due to their early 2020 release, versions can be found with and without the AMP subtitle. Like their full sugar relatives, they too received an occasional limited-time video game tie-in. After moving to an online-only status alongside the other 5 flavors, both Zero Sugars would be axed in 2021, then Raspberry Lemonade alone would return in 2022, followed by a complete discontinuation of all current Game Fuel Charged flavors in 2023. Worth noting, with the initial Zero Sugar discontinuation announcement, there's mention of the 2 entering the Game Fuel Flavor Vault, a vault that at that point was jam-packed. One of the more interesting and forgotten flavors from the early 2020s has to be Game Fuel Courageous Sherbet, which came in full sugar and zero sugar varieties. What makes this release so interesting is it was limited time only, exclusively online, and under the Game Fuel name, except without the word charged. This also lacks the AMP subtitle, as that design change was made a few months prior. Courageous Sherbet was also the first time a Mountain Dew flavor was closely branded around a celebrity, that being pro gamer Courage JD, aka Jack Dunlop. On Twitter, Courage went on to claim this is actually the first ever Pepsi-owned flavor to be custom themed to one person. The name of the drink not only references Jack's gamertag, but also its flavor profile of Rainbow Sherbet. The initial pre-order was said to have sold out in 6 hours, followed by another restock a few months later, to then never be seen again. Winnable Game Fuel branded swag boxes were advertised alongside a Courage JD trading card, obtainable via a checkout promo code. To many, a Rainbow Sherbet flavor was revolutionary, but real ones remember 2014 had it first. Now it's time to get back into the unreleased side of things. First with Game Fuel Turbo. Only seen in this single, thought to be real render, is a black cherry looking unreleased variant of Game Fuel. When first discovered, this image served as the reveal for the incoming Kickstart redesign, which looked to originally include 300 milligrams of caffeine instead of the 90 we did end up receiving. There's also this 32-ounce big boy, of which we have no info on whatsoever. Where this render came from and whether it's 100% real is not confirmed, but some legitimacy is added when typing in the word turbo on Mountain Dew's contact page, which surprisingly yields a mention of a turbo fruit punch and a turbo charged electric mango. Together, these somewhat prove some sort of spin-off was in the works, likely one based around increased caffeine. The AMP Game Fuel Charge series, now only known as simply Game Fuel, delivered its final new entry in 2022, this time in collaboration with video game streamer Dr. Disrespect. It went by the name Championship Citrus Cherry, in reference to the doc's claim of being the 2-time 1993-1994 blockbuster world video game champion. Like Courageous Sherbet, Triple C was only ever available online for a limited time, only in 12-packs, resulting in, according to Mountain Dew, the biggest sales day in the history of the brand. When made available in April, the drink's inventory sold out in only 72 hours, never to be restocked again. How this Game Fuel version differs from the original Citrus Cherry is not clear. Phrases like championship level twist and revamped taste worthy of the dock are used insinuating another Riff variant situation. Prior to this collaboration, Game Fuel and the dock have worked together many times, including a custom camo can for Cherry Burst, housed in a special sheath. Doc's branding is once again made front and center, with a full body silhouette shown on top of the can's unique black exterior. Unfortunately, the celebrity tie-in choice didn't age the best, but the context of Citrus Cherry being the final entry in this spin-off series makes for a somewhat poetic ending. Fans wouldn't have to wait long for New Things Due, as that same month Game Fuel made its out-of-nowhere return, not as an energy drink but instead in its classic format. citrus cherry plus a newcomer, that being the fruit punch flavored Mystic Punch. To top it all off, Halo was used for the game's promotion, Halo Infinite to be specific. Many think this marks the third time Game Fuel has worked with the famous first-person shooter, when in actuality it's the fourth, as one surprisingly was made for Halo 5 Guardians in 2015, but only via the Dutch/Danish Game Fuel discussed earlier in relation to Game Blast. Diablo 4 was the game Mystic Punch was co-branded with, making for an overall release reminiscent of the old days, down to the usage of identical UPC codes. The rewards themselves were even similar to past years: in-game cosmetics, special weapon skins, and a Halo 3 Mountain Dew inspired custom map called Critical Dew Point. The involved merch as well. How can you not love those nods to 2007? Despite the negative reputation of in-game cosmetic rewards, these were considered refreshing when compared to all the recent single winner cash prizes. Prior to release, Mystic Punch was referred to as Fruit Storm, though this was before the two flavors even had video game tie-ins. For the pre-release influencer kit, Mountain Dew sent out these incredible glass display cases containing two sculpted hand statues designed to represent each game and also hold the free controller tossed in as a bonus. This final release of 2023 really brought things full circle and had fans more excited than ever for what was to come in. To again tug on the heartstrings of longtime Dew fans, the Game Fuel duo released in November of 2024 reunited the brand with an old past partner, World of Warcraft. To celebrate the game's 20th anniversary, Mountain Dew brought back the fan favorite Citrus Cherry alongside Citrus Blackberry, a brand new offering defined as Blackberry Raspberry. Though not the main goal, these two were meant to serve as nostalgic callbacks to 2009. The in-game perks tied to this event as well relate back to the bonuses offered 15 years prior. Like many flavors from around this time period, alternate names were seen used before release, with Citrus Blackberry going instead by Midnight Mission. After the 12-week limited time run came to an end, leaks began to circulate regarding a 2025 Game Fuel return, specifically a zero sugar only option, but for whatever reason, it never came to be.